all the way back down behind Swayman. Looks like Swayman picked up right on the left. So he's answered that question for us. The new pop-up, right in Carlo. Moves one around. We arrive just after 6 p.m. Celebrating the birth of his son. Not long after a Game 7 overtime win against Toronto, so good chances at both ends for both teams early. Yeah, Florida here, it's off the rush. Struggle 3-on-2. Just buckets thrown at the net. A good save there from Swayman reaching across. On Lindell, he reaches out there like that. Big save. As Lindell's looking at that empty net there, good back check as well by Coyle to get involved there, making sure Lindell can embrace that puck. A big save from Swayman early on. Neutral zone.
What's up? Monday night Raw, baby dolls. We got the Florida Panthers playing right now against the Boston Bruins. What up? Are you ready to rock? It's a miracle. I am late, but I am here. Better late than never, as they say. Wi-Fi is operating at peak proficiency right now. Who is Bobby Kennedy is trending on Twitter. That's not a good sign. When you're asking who someone is and they are running for president. It's kind of like in the stand-up comedy world. Who is Earl Skakel? Hello. Fuck it. I'm the guy who's doing a stream right now to 3 people. I don't give a fuck. We can talk about anything tonight. Hockey. LA Kings off-season plans. Political yak. See, I'm getting some messages on Instagram. Let me see. Who is trying to contact me? Someone is contacting me from the Phantom Menace Theater. Kind of sending me a video of what's going on in the theater. So we'll just let them remain anonymous. I hope everyone had a good weekend. And that you guys found joy in whatever it is you did this weekend. I had the weekend off of stand-up comedy. I watched a lot of hockey. I did not watch 1 second of the Tom Brady roast, and I'm a better man for it. But that's okay. I ain't hating on my buddies who were on it. You know, you got to deal with all the bullshit of my business in chunks. It's pretty sunny out here right now. It's been a lot of rain this year in the city of Los Angeles. We got Barkov on a breakaway, but he's pretty slow. So Sam Bennett's playing. He's a real. Oh no, that's number 8. I don't know who is number 8. Sam Bennett. I thought he was number 9. I don't know the complete roster makeup of the Florida Panthers. But this should be a great series. Game 1, it's message timing. Message sending time, game 1. They really like to get it on. So these are always fun to watch. It's usually the first period of game 1 of any series. They get it on. But in the Florida crowd, I don't think I've ever seen the Panthers arena so full. The Panthers are not exactly known for their rabid fans, but it is South Florida, the 305. And I just think it's funny that they have one of the best teams in hockey, and their fan base are mighty, but they are small. But it does seem to be pretty full. Most of the people wearing red. 15 minutes left to go in the first period. 0-0. Panthers have 5 shots on goal. The Bruins have, all right, we got Kachuk. Nice shot there. That's good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I believe in global warming or not, but I'm telling you right now, the weather in LA has been cold for us. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, usually in any city, once the team is in the playoffs, especially the second round, the seats seem to fill up. But hockey in South Florida is just that's a tough sell. I forget who had this joke, but um, it was like a joke from the 90s or 80s. Is like there's 800,000 Canadians who live in South Florida, and they all hate hockey. That's why they live in Florida. So it's kind of funny when you take it from that perspective. You'd think, oh, wow, there's 800,000 Canadians in the state of Florida. These games should sell out even if 5% of those people show up. But, maybe they're the only Canadians who don't like hockey. That's why they live in Florida. So Bruins, they're plugging, but so far, not much offense. The Bruins goalie has played well so far. Que pasa, Cold Sea? Just doing a Monday night Raw stream, not about the wrestling. Bobrovsky with, I believe, his first save on Pasternak coming down the wing hard. It's got to be a scary sight for any goalie. Well, you got to win consistently to get the locals to get on board with the team. It's not much different than LA. I mean, when the Kings are losing, there's, empty seats at crypto.com. And when they're winning, it's the hottest ticket in town. Um, you know, we got a little scrum. Here we go. A little scrum in front. Geeky, Beecher, and I think Pasternak. Um, the Kings just have to, they got some revamping to do with the roster. It's got a couple free agents that are more than likely to leave, unfortunately, including Comedy Store favorite son, Matt Roy, rumored to be going back home to Detroit. He'd be a very good pickup for the Red Wings. Tough right-handed defenseman. Blake Lizotte is probably cheaper out there available. Arvidsson's a free agent. Do you want to commit to a guy who's starting to break down a little bit, even though when he's healthy, he's very valuable. It's kind of like the Velarde thing. I'm sure the Kings never really wanted to get rid of Velarde, but, he's so brittle that, I'm sure they were like, let's take a shot at this with Dubois. Rob Lake had his press conference today. Doesn't look like he's going anywhere. I don't think an outgoing GM would. I'm getting a phone call from the landline. 666-9811. That is probably the most important person I know right now calling me. I cannot. That person I have to text. I can't do that on the stream. She's too important. Literally, probably. I mean, this person is so important. I may have to mute the stream. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can mute the shit, never mind. I gotta text her back right away. I mean, that is someone I cannot divulge their name, but put it this way, you answer this person's message. Hold on here. I mean, that is someone who, I'll just say this with who just called me. If they call Tom Cruise picks up the phone. They are behind the scenes, not on camera. So that makes my heart have hope in this business that something good could happen. But I won't get too cocky yet. But if she calls me back again, I'm going to have to end the stream. And you guys know I don't do that shit a lot. So that just woke me up a little bit. Her Rolodex is A-list of the A-list. I'm assuming they are calling me to say, hey, I got you a gig. Hopefully it's not, did you watch the roast? If I could count how many people texted or DM'd me yesterday, I would have a heart attack. She's texting me. I might have to mute this mic for a hot minute, but we'll see what happens. It's the chick you met on the plane. No, I haven't heard back from her. Yeah, that would be my luck. Oh, sorry, Earl, it's a butt dial. So, all right, she's texting me back. Sorry, guys, this is unprofessional. But I mean, yeah, but being a good man in this business means nothing, to be honest with you. It really means I mean, it works in the complete opposite. You know, you'd think being a good guy would help me, but it's actually hurt me. But you know what? I enjoy comedy, so I will carry on my wayward soldiers, as Kansas would say. Yeah, 100% William Zoom. Like being a good man. I have the two worst labels. I'm not complaining. I love stand up. I love doing streams. I love that's half the reason I'm going to Hackamania. I like doing stand up. I probably won't participate much in the all the podcasts and stuff. It's just they're going to be talking about stuff that just doesn't interest me. But I like doing stand up. It's what I'm best at. But there's also not a lot of money in stand up when you're not famous. Like I should be on the roast, but I'm not famous. So I could see why CMJ and Andrew Schultz and Hinchcliffe and all those people were on it. They're draws. Uh, you know, I'm in it to win it, so fuck it. Now I'm Bruce Keelix. I do have some options to stay at a nice, I'm friends with a couple people from Slash's solo band. Um, uh, I'm friends with a lot of Vegas comics who've offered me their residence. Um, I know a lot of people in Vegas. Vegas is a great place to live if you're a comic. You're still on the West Coast. You it's no state income tax. Uh, I watched a little bit of the end of MLC. I did not see any of that. No, I mean, listen, you guys can ask Dabbleverse questions. I mean, I just have nothing to add to the drama. Like, I have zero clue as to who that new girl on MLC is. I have no idea what her Dabbleverse um, whatever is. But you guys can bring it up. I mean, listen, there's 9 people in the stream. I can't say don't talk about this or you're out. Um, uh, you know, I don't know Ray, to be honest with you. I've done his show a few times, obviously. He was always nice to me. I only really talk shit about people if they talk shit about me. So, I've never interacted with Carl at all. I think I spoke with Steel Toe a few times, maybe. Um, so they've never, I mean, I talk badly about Jeff because he's wronged me twice, really 3 times. Um, well, I mean, of course, I'll still stream. Well, I mean, I don't want to say when I'm famous, but like, I love doing these streams. He was arguing like a homosexual man. I didn't watch any of that, to be honest with you, um, because that world brings me down. Like, I'll turn on MLC sometimes, and I think Kevin's the funniest guy out of us all, whether we're in the Dabbleverse or not. But like all the stream sniping, and this person's a drunk, this person's a thief, this person's a cheap fuck, this person's that. It just brings me down, man. Uh, no, listen, I'm going ACDC for the stand-up shows or stand-up show. There's only one stand-up show, and then we're doing like a modernized version, or however you want to call it, of Kill Tony, where it's basically win Earl Skakel's money. That'll be fun. It's a bunch of Vegas comics, and then I'll leave. Uh, so no, I don't gamble on the slots. I mean, I might lay down a bet at the sports books. I do from time to time gamble on the horses. System. You got to on a white horse. You got to always bet on a white horse. Vigors was my second all-time favorite horse behind Seattle Slew, and any descendant of Seattle Slew. Now it's getting a little long in the tooth for that bloodline because you know Seattle Slew I probably passed away in the mid '90s, like Vigors did. So there's not a lot of um, his legacy left, and but Vigors had over 1,200 babies. 1,200 babies, man. So there are, then they have babies, and so there are some, to use a wrestling parlance, the bloodline of Vigors is still active in today's racing world. Now, granted, it's probably a fourth cousin removed, but I'm sure they're, the great thing about some of Seattle Slew's first babies where they had Slew in the name, like Sloppy Slew, Tsunami Slew, Slew of Gold. Your head is blocking the Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is perfect, Daniel M. Are you trolling me, Daniel M? Get the fuck out of here. I got something you can block. Um, Combo podcasting. I mean, it really is. The Dabbleverse is. I'm just kidding, Daniel M. Uh, the Dabbleverse really is pro wrestling with microphones. Um, you know, so and there are storylines, and that's why I think Chad is so good at it. Chad bounces around between face and heel, and Kevin's like the Rick Rude type heel. And then Steel Toes like the bad guy nobody likes, but people talk about him. And then Ray is like I don't know, Doink the Clown. Just people are fascinated by him, and some of these girls are I mean Kate Meany's like I guess a female heel. Shuley is kind of like a Bobby Heenan type. And it's funny to me to see so many people get upset with these people that they'll probably never meet. Melton is kind of like Captain Lou Albano, so it's funny to me. Whoa. Whoa, Peter, you got me all knocking down my Akeem doll. Peter Chicken Man Brennan, $2. DM, can you do us a favor and introduce Stut Joe to Emily? That's big negatory, baby doll. But no, that's not. Trust me. Emily tells me who uses my name. Earl told me to call you. I can barely get spots right now. I'm trying to help one person, and his name is Earl. It's like that scene in Miami Vice with DEA agent Baker said to Crockett and Tubbs, there's two things that concern me, U.S. interest and anything that's counter to them. There's one thing that concerns me in LA comedy, Earl spots and anyone who's trying to take him away. I could shoot you right now. Pin it on Bourbon. No questions. Sorry. That was for William Zoom. The Chicken Man. Well, they blew up the Chicken Man in Philly last night. Atlantic City. Everything dies in Atlantic City. Oh, thank you. My Wi-Fi is optimal proficiency right now. I'm using, hold on, we got my, hold on. Hold on. Is Carl the gold dust of the Dabbleverse? I mean, Carl would be like Freddie Blassie, classy Freddie Blassie. I don't know about the Panthers in 4. I do think the Bruins will win at least one home game. I'll say the Panthers in 6. But oh man, she can't. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I have to answer this person's text ASAP. No, I'm not. Well, yeah, but she's cool. She's going into a meeting right now, so I can't call her anyway. But yeah, this is she's a night. Let put it this way, she's my comedy guardian angel. I don't want to say anymore because then I know how someone will do a deep dive and find her and call her up, go help Earl, you bitch. I can't. You guys are too much. Melton is like he's the puppet master. Him and Brennan, like Jerry Jewell. Yeah, at this point, I'd probably take Jerry Jewell's call, to be frank. Um, you know, I love Jet Ski Johnson. Yeah, Jet Ski's cool. I got her a few gigs when she first started working at the Comedy Store. So, she'll be like the next Whitney, and I mean that as a compliment. Like she knows who to be nice to, and she plays the game. She's really nice to everyone. I don't know who VTL is, to be honest with you. Um, um, well, I don't think I said he looked bad at the roast. I think someone else said it, and it's like, when you have Jeff Ross standing next to Tom Brady, I'm going to look bad standing next to Tom Brady. So you can imagine, Jeff. Let's be real. Uh, you know, so um, but I did not watch the roast, and I will not watch 1 second of it. I have no interest in watching someone. And some of my friends doing something that I want to do. Like, it's like, I don't imagine Tom Brady watches Ben Roethlisberger play football. Like, uh, listen, a beard ain't gonna help, bro. Like, you know, as much as I don't like the guy, it's like I remember when he did my podcast, and I've left it up. People are like, well, if you don't like him so much, why don't you take his podcast down? I want people to listen to how lazy he was in that interview. Um, I I actually found a decent photo of him. I use it as the thumbnail. If you go on, I guess, Apple Podcasts and look at the thumbnail, and he calls me up going, "Hey, can you replace that picture? I look fat in it." I'm like, "Bro," like, and I literally said this to them because this is right around when we were starting to have our problems. I'm like, "Bro, there ain't a picture on the internet that's gonna make you look skinny. This is the best one, and I looked for about an hour, brother." Um, so Oh, I didn't watch it, Zanara, so I have no idea if Tony did well or he didn't do well. And I don't really care, to be honest with you. Like, I just, I have no interest in how people did, or, my friend was there. He said 4 people bombed. I said, I don't even want to know who they were. It does, you know. Um, so it's the curse of method acting. Sometimes the characters take over the host. Well, I think it's, going back to the Dabbleverse, it's, nobody wants someone who doesn't talk shit in that world. Like, look at me. I don't talk shit about for one person. And I think most people would say I'm justified. But other than that, you know, uh, I'm pretty, like I said, it's like, I'm going to do a steel toe thing here. I'm like Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse. I'm nice till it's time not to be nice, till you give me a reason. And few people have given me a reason. Um, but that's also why I have 13 people in a stream, where Shuli and Brennan have about 1,000 in the stream. Melton has, I don't know, 700 or 800 in the stream usually. Chad has a couple hundred usually, because they all talk shit and do the Zoom roasting, and I don't do that, and I have no desire, even though I would love to have more people in here. I just don't have the fucking desire to do it. Um, Peter Griffin Roadhouse kick. I'm not sure what that means. No, I don't think that. I mean, as long as it's. I mean, I did a similar joke on the Shane Doan roast because we had George LaRock on the panel and Coop, a local Arizona news person, and what was my joke? I think I said we get one more black person on the stage, the Kardashians are going to storm the room. Is that over the line? It's up there, but I don't think it's, both, thank God George laughed. Coop, I think I could take. But, well, I think funny comedy is never over the line. If you look at the people who, let me see how I can say this. The people who've gotten into trouble for cancelable jokes or whatever you want to call it. They are the ones where the joke just wasn't funny. Like Daniel Tosh got into trouble. What, about 10 years ago, uh, where he did a joke at the Laugh Factory about sexual assault, and it just wasn't funny. Now Daniel Tosh is very funny, but that particular joke, it just fell flat. Michael Richards got into trouble, not even really for the racism, but how he was doing it just was awful. It just was not funny at all. Whereas if he would have slammed those hecklers in a clever and a creative way, even if he got a little raunchy, people would have been like, okay, that's funny. It's over the line, but that's funny. Chicken Man Burnett, I'm sorry, did I skip a question? You think Elisa Jordana ends up dating my bro Neil? Probably not. I don't know your brother that well, but I don't think he would be into her. I think he likes black girls, doesn't he? Like, I don't know. Barry Ribs got canceled after his roast. Yeah, but that's the exact same reason. I love Barry Ribs. I got no beef with Barry Ribs. And you guys call me, say I'm too nice and I'm a ball washer or whatever. Barry Ribs just wasn't funny on that roast. I love the guy. I do think Barry Ribs is funny, but that roast was awful. Yeah, but I don't tell people who you should think, um, who I don't tell anyone who they think should be funny. Um, there's comics I don't think are funny, but if I just because I say someone's not funny doesn't mean they're not funny to you. People don't think I'm funny. Uh, Kim Kardashian. Let me read the joke in my voice. Kim Kardashian's here. She's had a lot of black men celebrating her end zone. Kim, word of advice: close your legs. You have more public beef than Kendrick and Drake. That's funny. I don't think that's that bad because it's true. The true humor is great. Now he did that joke about, I don't know, say Nikki Glazer. Okay, that's just racist. But with Kim Kardashian, she loves fucking black guys. But I guarantee if Seinfeld would have been heckled by those two people upstairs at the Laugh Factory, he would have killed them. So, yeah, I mean, Tony's a great roast writer, you know, and he's a wrestling bad guy, You know how many people don't like Tony? He don't give a fuck. Tony's probably more like Rick Rude than anyone else, you know. And the great thing about Tony is it's not really a character; it's who he actually is. But it's working for him. I mean, listen, I was on Kill Tony when I don't know, there was maybe 25 people in the belly room, and I literally remember saying to myself, man, this show sucks. This is going nowhere. And Tony was on the cover of Variety last week. Like, I don't believe a stand-up comic's ever been on the cover of Variety. So, like, it goes, when people pitch me their ideas, whether it be a roast battle or whatever, I always tell them no idea is too stupid to make it. If you were to tell me before Kill Tony started that this show is going to be the talk of the town and it's just Tony roasting unknown open mic level comics, I'd be like, who the fuck is going to want to watch that? And look how wrong I would have been. Jeremy Piven isn't a comic. I would agree with that, Williamson. No doubt about that. Ray thought Jesse Joyce to roast, whom taught Tony, so Ray is the GOAT, right? I mean, Jesse Joyce is a great roast writer. Now, roast battle's a different thing, Peter Chicken Man Brennan. It's all right, Peter. I see you. I knew what you were talking about. Because roasting, you're paying a tribute. Like, obviously, every comic on that dais, even if you don't like football, you respect Tom Brady as arguably and probably the greatest quarterback of all time. And I'm a Steeler guy. So you're going to say something about Tom Brady, deflated balls, cheating, whatever. Um, but at the end, you're going to say how great he is. Whereas if you're roast battling, you're fucking going hard in the paint, So no, I don't think Jesse's stealing roast jokes. He's a great writer. Jesse Joyce is a great roast writer. Um, I mean, I don't know if Artie Lang was a genius stand-up, but he's very funny. I mean, Artie is almost like, how we just said Tony isn't a character. He's actually, that's who he is. I think that's who Artie was. Artie's a fuck up. Like, he's a successful fuck up. I mean, listen, I'm a Steeler fan, so, to know that if Tom Brady wasn't around, we would have won at least 2 more Super Bowls with the teams that we had. But it's pretty hard to argue that he was not the greatest quarterback of all time. I mean, 6 Super Bowls. Now I realize football is a team game. I I get that, but and who knows what happens if Bledsoe doesn't get hurt? Maybe Brady doesn't get the opportunity. No, I think Artie Lang's obviously very funny, but I just um, like Carlin to me is a genius. Mitch Hedberg um, is a genius. Was a genius. Some of his jokes were just like Mitch Hedberg's one of the few comics I've ever listened to where I thought, man, I wish I could be that funny to come up with that idea. I mean, I don't know if Mahomes will get 6, but obviously the Chiefs are very good. The thing with the Patriots was they really didn't have genuine competition to go up against. I mean, the Ravens were pretty good, the Steelers were pretty good, but almost every time the Steelers would play the Patriots that Brady was going to torch them. He had the Steelers number, and we had great defenses, but I probably won't watch Seinfeld's new movie. I don't. When I'm not doing stand up, I want to. I want to be entertained. So, like last Monday, I saw Alien in a theater. I want to watch, Rambo or, Rocky. The business of stand up has got me down within the last month or so, where I haven't really enjoyed doing it for the first time. Just because for the first time, I started looking at other comics, well, how come they're getting more spots and all that shit. So I watched Rocky the other night. I really do identify as Rocky in the stand-up world. Where I'm an older guy, I'm the young people are getting all the or most of the opportunities, and it motivated me. So I don't want to watch any comedy related movies. Dingbat coming in with the political take. I wasn't at the White House last week. I disagree with you big time there, ACDC. But once again, I'm not telling you to find Mitch Hedberg funny. If you don't think he's funny, I can't sales pitch you. That's what you look for in a comic. But to me, he's brilliant. I mean, I watched, I know that the Steelers, when Cowher left, I mean, that's a long time ago. It's crazy to me. The Steelers have only had 3 coaches in their existence: Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. Like, that's insane to me. Peter Chicken Man, you think Leslie can lift more than you. That's why she can bump people. I'm pretty strong, actually. I'm pretty strong. The other night, Kings say no buyout for Pierre-Luc Dubois. We need to make him better. Dubois had 40 points this season. Well, that's good news because I like Pierre-Luc Dubois, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that, yeah, Band of the Hand is on Tubi. I gotta, figure out my Wi-Fi for my new TV because I would love to watch Band of the Hand again. Great cast. Comedy, I think comedy now is a thing of you got to get a viral video or you got to be on a hot TV show or if I was on a hot TV show or if I had a viral video or whatever, I'd be on the Netflix festival. I mean, I remember a time a couple of years ago where Matt Rife could not get booked in this town other than his own show at the Laugh Factory. Um, and now he's one of the heads of the festival. Um, it's just how it works. What changed? You know, I don't mind talking politics. I mean, politics is divisive, especially in a YouTube stream, but I don't mind talking about it. Stallone, I mean, Rocky is arguably the greatest sports movie of all time, especially when you consider, uh, the circumstances that Rocky was made under, where literally every studio passed on the show. And then he found one small studio that said, "We'll make it, but you can't be in it. We'll give you literally double what you want so we can cast someone else." And then, I think he took almost virtually no money to say, "I have to be in it. This is my character." Uh, so I don't know what you mean, brother. Oh, okay. You guys are cross talking. Uh, what changed? It's a Hedberg joke. Oh, I see what you're saying. I mean, I just think Hedberg's like I admire his writing. Um, he pays his openers $100 for big shows. Listen, bro, I'll be honest with you, and I know that world better than anyone. Some headliners don't even pay their openers. The club will pay a headliner. Say whoever is playing the Ontario Improv, which seats about 400 people. The Ontario Improv will pay the comic $100, and the headliner, unless they're cool, like Tim Dillon, will give you more than what the club is giving. He'll give you $300 or $400 in addition to the $100 you're getting paid. Rogan obviously pays his openers very well, in addition to what the club pays. What Matt Rife does, I have no idea. Comedy seems to have turned into a who you know kind of thing, aka all of Golden Entertainment artists. Are they a subsidiary of Golden Artist Entertainment? I mean, it's always probably been who you know, to be honest with you. But nowadays it's really turned into that. It's turned into, uh, just after Matt Rife kind of popped with the viral video, the crowd work video, every fucking comic in the world was pimping their crowd work videos. It's like when Dane Cook was big, people were trying to rip off that style. And then D'Elia came around 10 years later, people were trying to rip off D'Elia's, act out style. And now, Matt Rife, basically 10 years later, every comic in the world's posting crowd work clips in front of no audience. Um, oh yeah, I mean, listen, well, I don't know about that AC/DC, but listen, I said this about Rife. I walked in on him one night in the main room, and he was killing. Because he forgot his joke, and he's like, "I think I'll just take my shirt off," and the crowd erupted like I swear the fucking Beatles hit the stage. So when you have that kind of a relationship with your audience, you don't have to be fucking funny, to be honest with you. I would kill to be able to do that. Have a joke bomb and then just take off my shirt and all's forgotten. Did the audience try to heckle me at the mothership? No, they were actually. What I love about the mothership um, is that they lock your phones, so the audience is really fucking locked in on what you're saying. Like everyone's listening, and you could definitely. It's an energy in the room that's not. It's unlike any other club I've played because, like the other night, I'm at the Comedy Store and I'm doing pretty well. And by the way, body slam the like button, please. Um, and there was a girl in the fucking front row on her phone. Like I'm assuming this is Instagram, and it was just like, "What?" Like, at the mothership, that would not be possible. She would be looking up at me. Maybe she wouldn't be laughing, but, AC/DC, how did I just prove your point? I with Matt Rife. But, I mean, that's what I'm saying, though, like, I can't critique a guy if I would do the same thing. Um, and if you made up with Jeff Ross, you think that would open up a lot more gigs. I mean, it wouldn't hurt, but, my feelings towards him are pretty valid. I mean, I don't do the Dabbleverse stuff of just talk shit about someone just to get numbers. Clearly, I've got 20 people in here. But, I'm just a very loyal person, and I demand loyalty back. You know, um, when you're fucked over on 2 different TV shows on 2 different networks, it'd be one thing if it was they were both on Comedy Central, and then I could go, "Well, the network didn't like me. It's not really a Jeff thing." But, the other show was on Netflix, so with different executives, and the same thing happened. And then, Jeff had me pulled off the Adam Egget roast because he said something to the effect of Earl's going to come in hot on certain subjects. I think you guys could guess what. And I absolutely would have. I'm a roast comic. That's what roast comics do. They go after targets. Like when on Roast Battle, you don't think I knew there was going to be jokes about um, my parents dying 2 months apart, or at the time I was dating a 19-year-old, and when I was 46 when I was on Roast Battle on television. So yeah, but 100% William Zoom. But here's the thing, in the uh, getting representation in this business is insane, because agents and managers now, they don't want to help you until you um, get something. Like, you think Matt Rife had people trying to help him 3 years ago? Fuck no. Now he probably has every agent's number on speed dial. They've called him so much. It's just how it is. And I say that with no bitterness or anger or whatever. It's just the way the business is. You think if I got on a hit TV show or whatever you don't think Jeff Ross would call me and say, "Hey, let's bury the hatchet. I want to work with you." That's just how it is. That's how it works. Um, so, I mean, look at Tony after the Ping Dang thing. He was a comedy pariah, but then Kill Tony is now probably, I don't know how to describe it, like the number one, I don't know, interactive, show right now going. So I'm sure everyone who tried to cancel him is like, "Hey, man, no hard feelings." Uh, so, I mean, unfortunately, you do, unless you, you need, someone to, um, you just need someone of note to help you, and that takes a while sometimes. Like the person who I was just texting with, that's someone who they don't need to help me. I mean, they are an A-list person in their field. Like, there's no one above them. Um, and they saw me one night at the Comedy Store, and stand-up comedy is like its own um, island of sorts. So sometimes, like, I've had big managers try and help me who are like acting managers, and they're clueless because they just, it's different executives, it's different protocol. Um, so I don't think I'll ever sell my soul to make it. You don't think if I would have let the casting guy at Fox suck my dick or whatever he wanted to do, I wouldn't have gotten on X-Files and Millennium like that? Well, William, it's not that easy. Uh, you just can't walk onto a film set and hi, I'd like to act. You can do that in comedy. Jeremy Piven can walk into a comedy club and go, "I'd like to go up," and they'll go, "Oh my God, it's the guy from Entourage." Skakel, you're not next. But you have to be in it for the right reasons. Numbskull, what do you think of everyone sucking Hinchcliffe's poll over last night? It was decent, I guess, but guys with homosexual voices like his annoy me. And if you call yourself the Golden Pony, you stink. I mean, listen, I can't critique it. I didn't watch it, and that's not me not uh, avoiding your question or whatever. But I didn't watch it, so I can't watch anything with Jeff involved in it. Just literally the sight of him makes me angry. And a lot of people are like, dude, you got to let that go. No, I don't have to do shit. Because if you let stuff like that go, getting burned on shows and getting taken off a roast, then it'll always happen to you. Now, maybe I'll never work again in this business, but I guarantee you, people will go, hey, we got to treat Skakel right, or he's going to talk about it. Because if you let shit go and just wait for karma's bullshit. Karma has nothing to do with me. So that's why I don't wait for it. So, I don't, me and Tony used to be really good friends. I mean, we're not as friendly as we used to be, but, just because we have different sets of friends. Um, I always said how much he helped me with my roast battle with Sarah Tiana when he helped me with my wardrobe last minute. Um, we got into over the pandemic a debate about Jeff, and it really hasn't been the same since. I think you could guess what side he's on and what side I'm on. Well, I mean, I get the idea of karma is if something bad happens to you, don't worry about it. The person or persons who whatever made you feel about uh, how you feel about the situation, it will get back to them. I don't wait for that. Fuck that, man. I because I think if you let bad stuff happen to you under the guise of I'll just wait for karma, then you just set off a giant bat signal in the sky. Hey, you can fuck Earl over and it's cool. Now maybe people won't want to work with me, and that's fine too. I don't need the money. I got voiceover gigs up the yin yang right now. So now that doesn't mean I wish I had more people in the stream or wish I had more Patreon members or whatever. I don't know anything about Hinchcliffe's dad. I mean, I've met his mom a few times. She was nice. I liked his some of his past girlfriends. I've always gotten along with them. You can more bumping power at the store, less dog or Eliza. That's a good one. I would say Leslie because she just steamrolls the stage. I mean, I think Eliza. I mean, Eliza doesn't have the best rep. I mean, she's always been nice to me, but I would say Leslie's more animated about her bumping. Uh, yeah, I wouldn't mind. I get along with Red Band. Red Band's like the hidden star of the pod or whatever the Kill Tony and Joe Rogan experience. Like, not many people ever really give him the credit, but without Red Band, man, I mean, without Red Band taping Mencia and Rogan that night at the store, who knows what happens? Now Rogan was already famous or known or a very successful comic, but that really catapulted Joe into a true badass. Like, holy shit, he just walked in the middle of this guy's set. Now, I'll give Mencia this. Like, I do think he's a joke thief, and that's not cool, but I'll give Mencia this. He stayed on the stage, man. A lot of comics with Rogan berating them with a bunch of Rogan supporters in the back of the room, like Ari and Red Band and Barris, would have walked off the stage and been like, fuck this, man. Mencia stayed there. But he also had a posse in the room, too. Now, if you're going to talk posses, I'd rather have Rogan's posse over Mencia's posse. But you give him too much credit. Regent hired to labor the podcast and trade him. I don't know who Regent is. Rogan hired to labor the pod. I don't think Joe trained him in how to podcast, bro. Joe is the one who learned how to podcast from Red Band. I mean, I was there, bro. I know the story. Now, that's not to say the Joe Rogan experience wouldn't have been successful if another producer came on board, but um, I think Red Band got Joe's humor the best. Red Band's like Desmond Child writing for Bon Jovi. There's just are there other songwriters Bon Jovi could have used more known? Sure. Were there other comics who also knew how to podcast and stream? Yeah, but Red Band, like, there's not many more successful people behind the scenes. I mean, Red Band has made two empires basically: the Joe Rogan Experience and Kill Tony. Like, without Red Band, Kill Tony doesn't happen. Like, because Tony doesn't know how to do that tech stuff. Now you could hire someone else to do it, but Red Band's really dialed in on the tech stuff, and since he's a comic as well, I think he gets it. Well, I mean, listen, I would say Red Band's doing. I mean, listen, I stayed in Red Band's house at Austin. You don't got to feel sorry for Red Band. He's doing pretty good. 0-0 Boston Bruins, second period. 18 minutes and 22 seconds left for you hockey freaks. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, Jamie's great. He's Red Band or Rogan's current producer, but I think, hell, he even helped your mom's house. Tom and Christina. Red Band once again associated with. I mean, I did a very early your mom's house when it was at Red Band's house in Burbank. I mean, that's back in the day, and I walked into the studio and it was just like wires everywhere, speakers and all this shit fucking all over the place, and Red Band made it work, man. So, well, I don't think Jamie necessarily deserves more credit. I mean, Jamie walked into a fully functioning hit podcast. Now, it would be interesting to me if the reverse order happened, if Jamie started the Rogan Experience with Rogan and then Red Band came on. But, it's like, Jamie is like a pitcher who comes in the eighth inning to pitch the final two innings in a 9-0 game. Well, I mean, but Daniel, and I don't force my opinion on anyone. I was there, like I was at the Comedy Store when the Rogan Experience was basically born and neutered or nurtured. So, I mean, Red Band is a good dude, one of the nicest dudes. I mean, he bought a comedy club in Austin, so he could put his friends up that he knew probably wouldn't get on at the mothership. So, he's done a lot for a lot of comics. Well, yeah, but it's the tech stuff is different. Like, that's why my stream probably, to be honest with you, isn't as successful as it should or could be, because I don't know anything about tech. I would love to have a scroll, excuse me, like a Chiron scroll at the bottom right here. Follow at Earl Skakel. Follow me on Patreon, Super Chat, blah, blah, blah. It would make the stream look better. But I don't know how to do that. So, well, I don't know about that. I mean, I don't really listen to Joe. I don't listen, it's like my views on comedy. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. One good thing about the Skakel Family Trust is you don't have to bend over for anyone. You can just be you and they can fuck off. I mean, I'm not rich. I mean, Rogan is rich. Bert and Tom are rich. But, I don't have to worry where my next meal is coming from. So you are right in that standpoint. It is free. Money doesn't make anyone better. But in my case, what little money I have, I'm very good with my money. So you're right. I don't have to bend over and take it. So that's why I don't. Listen, I'm nice to people, and I don't kiss ass. But if I get a nice, like I saw Rogan at the mothership, I said, "Hey, thanks for the stage time." I meant it. Was I kissing his ass? No, I just genuinely meant it. Thanks. I mean, whether you like Joe or not, he's built a club for comics. And he has financed a lot of the behind the scenes lives of people like the bartenders and the door guys and the door staff. Um, yeah, he's getting there, and he ain't going away anytime soon. Like when you have a successful podcast, you literally can't get canceled. Like, even if Joe's taken off Spotify, he goes to Apple again. And he's taken off of Apple. He can just start his own website and host a podcast on his own server. It's like with Tony. Everyone thought, oh, Tony's done because Ping Dang got him. But Tony's in a great position because he doesn't really act, so he's not on movies or TV shows. So if you have a popular podcast, you can really fucking write your own ticket because you'll always find a platform to put it on, whether it be Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud. You go on there. All right, it's 0-0, a little scrum here. They, of course, Kachuk talking shit. So I would agree with you on that, ACDC. I did not see. I've seen clips of the interview, but Stern has become everything he railed against. But when you make that much money, man, it's probably an impossibility to not become that. Yeah, Tony's doing all right. I mean, when you look back at the Ping Dang thing, you know, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And to Tony's fan base, that actually helped him. So I don't know what Ping Dang's long game was, in terms of, hey, I'm going to do this and this is going to happen, but it failed miserably. And, hearing Ping Dang's pass at the cellar. Now, I'm not a New York guy, and I probably never will be. I mean, I'll rarely go there, but I would say that you can't tell me how great the cellar is when they pass Ping Dang. I'm sorry. Earl, you think Howard is jealous of Rogan? I don't think Howard Stern's jealous of anybody, but I'm sure he wishes he had, Rogan's audience. I mean, because now Howard has just, I think Howard's lost touch with what made him famous, but he also wasn't worth hundreds of millions of dollars in the 80s and 90s. So I get why he changed. It's like, look at Pierre-Luc Dubois and the Kings. Of course, I'll always bring it back to hockey. The Kings gave him $8.5 million a year. So what was it? A $65 million contract. He's really has no incentive to try. Like the money's guaranteed. In hockey, the contracts are guaranteed. It's not like football where you can sign a guy to $100 million, but only 20 of it's guaranteed. Hockey, every fucking penny is guaranteed. So you think Tony Burt or Segura would have been as successful? No one would have been as successful without Rogan. I mean, listen, when Joe when Joe says my name on his podcast, I get 100 extra followers like that. And that's just mentioning my name on the podcast. People look up Skakel. Hopefully it's not Michael. Hello. So, I mean, that sounds like something Stern would say, sadly. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine? Howard Stern must look back at some of those tapes where he's playing, what was it, Clarence Thomas and going Oonga Boonga, or having Daniel Carver on 20 episodes. Rogan is it's exposure to, I'm the perfect example of someone who hasn't gotten on Rogan. Let me go on my Instagram, see how many followers I have right now. Let's see, how many followers do I have on the gram? I have close to 11,900 followers on Instagram. Now, I've been on TV enough to say I've been on it, but certainly nothing in the vein of Rogan. And if I got on Rogan tomorrow, let's say Joe calls me right now, Earl, come to Austin. I guess dropped out, or I want you on the podcast anyway. Wednesday morning, I have 100,000 followers. if the interview is good, which I think it would be with Joe. We talk about the Kennedys. We talk about roasting, roast battle, my beef with Jeff. Get into all kinds of things. At the minimum, I would have 50,000 followers. I mean, that's the Rogan bump. You go from, let's just round it up. You go from 12,000 followers to 50 the next day. Only if it's good, though. Because there have been some of my comedy friends who've been on Rogan, and it wasn't a great interview. They just didn't have good chemistry, and so they literally maybe got a couple hundred new followers, and probably most of them dropped out after a month. Like, oh, this person's not funny. Fuck them. But see, I'm not rich. Rogan is rich. Russell Peters is rich. Yes, I was on I'm Dying up there with Eric Griffin. Thank you very much. I have nothing but nice things to say to Eric. He was very nice to me, and we're not like best friends or anything. Well, I mean, I think people with money find each other, like Kimmel and Rogan, and Howard Stern, and probably Leno. They all hang out because rich people like to hang out with other rich people. You think Jimmy Kimmel wants to hang out with his writing staff? And they're rich to me. You're a writer on Jimmy Kimmel, like one of the main writers. You're making a few $100,000 a year, but that's like nothing to Kimmel. Yeah, Keenan, I believe it was Keenan Ivory Wayans, and I think Paul Mooney might have helped a little bit. So, all right, guys, we've done an hour and 5 minutes. Well, I mean, he's taking care of his wife, Mavis, who's very sick right now. But he's a good guy. But you talk about someone that's good for their money. Leno doesn't spend any of his TV money. The only money he really turns or that he spends is his stand-up money. And, he probably makes a few million a year doing gigs and whatnot. But yes, thank you, Kip Smith. Let's get the plugs in. You guys know the deal by now. I'm really very easy to find socially. I'm at Earl Skakel on all social media. And everything, Twitter, Patreon, YouTube. It's just / Earl Skakel, PayPal's eSkakel at AOL.com. I mean, how many people are on AOL.com? You assholes. Hit the like button, the subscription button helps, the notifications. But people like Carolla and Kimmel, they probably disagree on a lot of things, but they're also very rich and successful. So, listen, I've been around rich people, like rich friends who are friends with other rich people, and they rarely talk politics. A lot of that's just a front. I'm sure when Carolla and Lena or Kimmel are together, they talk, sports and cars, all kinds of shit. The last thing they do is, hey, Adam, I want your opinion on Trump. Hey, Jimmy, I want your opinion on Biden. They're like, let's talk about cars and pussy. Adam, call this episode Cars and Pussy. Hello. All right, guys, we're going to do this stream tomorrow night. Between 4 and 5. I'm trying to do these streams at around 5 o'clock to get some sense of you guys going, hey, it's 5 o'clock. Got to go to the Earlverse. Let me thank my one tipper tonight, the great Peter Chicken Man Brennan. Thank you very much. You're getting up there with J-Man Jack in terms of the most consistent super chatter. I appreciate it. And if you can't super chat, no problem. Just hit the like button, subscription button, notification button. Spread the word. If you're on Twitter, when I say, hey, Earlverse is live, a retweet helps. And it's there's a lot of ways you can help a person without financially getting yourself involved. Earl Skakel, over and out.